It's an interesting time for business. Tariff and trade policies are dynamic, supply chains are squeezed, and cash flow, it's tighter than ever. If your business can't adapt in real time, you are in a little bit of hurt. So how do you get full visibility and adapt in real time? Over 42,000 businesses trust NetSuite by Oracle, your AI-powered business management suite. It brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all under one roof. NetSuite is the #1 cloud ERP for a reason. It's your single source of truth, giving you the data and control you need to move quickly. Real-time forecasting helps you move into the future with confidence, and with AI built in, you can automate the busy work and focus on strategy. NetSuite helps you see what's stuck, what it's costing you, and how to pivot fast. If I were running a business with a lot of moving parts, I'd use NetSuite for full control over everything. Tame the chaos with NetSuite. If your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, download the free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders at netsuite.com/SPI. That's netsuite.com/SPI. Hey, I get it. You've worked really hard to build up your business, and it's doing great. So great that you need help now. The most important thing for your business is to hire the right people to support it. So how can you find amazing candidates quickly? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you stand out and hire fast. And with Sponsored Jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. And it makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, Sponsored Jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. And it's one of the largest databases of job seekers, too, giving business owners access to a wide range of candidates. And one of the things I love most about Indeed is the job alerts feature. I get notified when new candidates apply. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/smartpassive. Just go to Indeed.com/smartpassive right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/smartpassive. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring Indeed is all you need. The perfect product launch. It's the goal for every brand marketer. High heat, fast sellout, and fans posting recipes like trophies. What do Sydney Sweeney's soap drop, Taylor Swift's tickets, and your next launch have in common? Well, they're not bought, they're bragged about. Fanfare turns your drop into a moment. Fanfare cues real fans, blocks bots, and builds launch experiences worth screenshotting. Want hype without the heartbreak? Get Fanfare's 5-step hype drop playbook with our proven success formula and make your next launch unforgettable at fanfare.io/playbook. Again, fanfare.io/playbook. This is the Smart Passive Income Podcast with Pat Flynn, session number 122. Sweet home entrepreneur. Welcome to my podcast.
Welcome to the Smart Passive Income Podcast, where it's all about working hard now so you can sit back and reap the benefits later. And now your host. He likes to color outside of the lines. Pat Flynn.
While DIY website tools are everywhere, most fall short on design and performance. Hit publish. Framer ships your site worldwide in seconds. No code, no compromises. Framer is a powerful, user-friendly platform that delivers developer-level results without writing a single line of code. Make your designs move and convert with Framer. Framer brings your site to life with powerful animations, dynamic content handling, and a design-first approach that helps your site stand out. Framer is the design-first, no-code website builder that lets anyone ship a production-ready site in minutes. Browse hundreds of pixel-perfect templates or even design something of your own on a totally blank canvas. Add bold animations like appear effects, text effects, scroll and looping animations, and much more in seconds. And it's free to start. The built-in AI handles the heavy lifting of generating starter layouts and can even translate your entire site to any language. On the back end, you'll get responsive breakpoints, built-in hosting, a flexible CMS, and privacy-friendly analytics. Ready to build a site that looks hand-coded without hiring a developer? Launch your site for free at Framer.com and use code SPI to get your first month of pro on the house. That's Framer.com, promo code SPI. Framer.com, promo code SPI. Rules and restrictions may apply. With running your own business, legal questions always come with the territory. Like, can I use this contract or agreement? What do I do if a client doesn't pay? Am I even structured the right way for taxes? Instead of Googling your way through legal landmines, imagine having a law firm ready to address your business's legal needs without the sticker shock. That's what you get with Legal Shield's small business plans. Legal Shield helps entrepreneurs access real legal help on contract reviews, collection letters, business formation guidance, and even help navigating IRS audits. Members can schedule consultations, upload documents through the app, and get support from a provider law firm that knows small business laws in your state. Plus, consultations on taxes or trademarks help you stay ahead of potential problems. And if a client is late on a payment, Legal Shield steps in with professional collection letters so you can protect your hard-earned revenue, all for a fraction of the price of hiring a lawyer on your own. Go to LegalShield.com/SPI or call 833-570-9980 to learn more and get big business legal support without a big business budget. That's LegalShield.com/SPI. It's totally okay to color outside the lines. It really is, if you know what I mean. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me today for session 122 of the Smart Passive Income Podcast. Hello to everybody who is actually at the podcast movement right now. This is the very first year of the podcast movement conference. Jared Easley and Dan Franks, great job, both of you, for putting on a great show, or what I suspect will be a great show based on everything I've heard about you guys planning it. And, I'm sorry I can't be there this year. Got a trip to Australia coming up, and so I can't put those two things back to back. But I will be headed to Australia very soon to go to the Pro Blogger Conference in the Gold Coast, and I'm so stoked about that. I can't wait to meet everybody there who will be attending that event. But the blog is still going to go up, the podcast is still going to be running, and today's episode is going to be awesome. Today I have a husband and wife combo, two people who I've spoken to over email over the past couple of years, and to see their progress and everything they've been doing and all the action they've been taking. I mean, they were teachers before. Both of them were teachers. And then now they're both doing online business, and they each have their own respective website that they primarily focus on, and both of them are doing extremely well. Jocelyn's site is at elementarylibrarian.com, which targets librarians, and then Shane's is at coachxo.com, which is a site that teaches football coaches some specific plays, and there's a community around that as well. Oh my gosh, this episode is chock full of strategies and inspiration, and I picked up a lot of information from listening to this episode. So I'm not even going to wait any further. I'll let them get into the story about how it all got started and what they're doing to just, they're making over 6 figures a month now. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So here is Shane and Jocelyn Sams, and let's get right into it. Enjoy. Hey, everybody, what's up? I'm so happy to welcome Shane and Jocelyn to the podcast today. Two readers and listeners of the SPI podcast who I've been keeping in close contact with over the last couple of years, and their success has just inspired me so much. And I wanted to bring them on here to inspire you and also give you some actionable advice. So first of all, Shane and Jocelyn, both of you, welcome to the SPI podcast.
Hey, Pat. Thanks for having us.
What's up, buddy? Thanks for having us, man.
So for everybody listening, I actually got to meet Shane and Jocelyn just last month, actually, at Chris Ducker and I's one-day business breakthrough here in San Diego. We do those events every few months whenever Chris comes to the U.S. from the Philippines. And we met Shane and Jocelyn, and they are not only just doing very, very well with their online businesses and incredibly inspirational, but two of the nicest people that I've ever met. So I'm sure you're going to get that from listening. So, first of all, Shane, we'll start with you. I know you have a story about how you kind of came, how did this all start for you?
All right. Our story starts in 2012. And, we're from Kentucky, just a small town, and we're just like normal people. We were teachers, and I was a history teacher, and my wife was a librarian. And so it's summertime, and, Jocelyn was inside with our little boy, Isaac, and our little girl, Anna, and we were just hanging out, going about our day, and I was getting ready to go out to mow the grass, and I kind of got sick of the music and stuff on my iPod. So I started, flipping through, the podcasts over on iTunes, because I'm always, kind of looking at the, business podcasts and stuff. And I actually downloaded your podcast. And the funny thing was, the only reason I downloaded the SPI podcast was because your picture with you peeking over the thing with your little eyeballs. I saw that, and I'm like, I don't know what that is, but that guy seems funny, so I'm going to download that podcast. So it was just totally random that I even stumbled across your podcast. So anyway, I get on the lawnmower, man. I'm driving around, just cutting my grass, listening to you talk about, passive income and just about online business. And I don't remember exactly what episode it was, but you were talking about the Green Exam Academy stuff. And how you basically made this study guide for people taking this architecture test. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. You mean people are paying you to send them an email. And I was always like, Jocelyn always laughed at me because I would like drive around and like just say crazy stuff in the car. But
Yeah, he would always say like, if I could just get 50 people to give me $100,
that would be so much money. And if I could, and it would be just, I wouldn't have to work for it if they would just send it to me, like, so, and like when I was listening to your show, man, I was like, this is it. This is how I'm going to get 50 people to send me $100. So I literally, man, I was in the middle of the yard, turned the lawnmower off, jumped off my lawnmower and ran inside. I bust into the kitchen and Jocelyn's just standing there. And, I'm a little excitable. I get a little fired up like some of the time.
Just a little.
So I'm really like, I'm rolling in, man, like we just won a football game. Cause I'm a coach too. And I said, Jocelyn, you've got to listen to this. This is our destiny. We're going to change our lives. This guy, Pat Flynn's talking about making money online and passive income. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds great. And I'm just so fired up and I'm like, let's do it. And Jocelyn was like, what? Like,
what was your first impression about that, Jocelyn?
Well, basically, I was just kind of like, are you crazy? I mean, what are you talking about?
Well, this is one of Shane's normal crazy rants that happens about once a week.
Mm-hmm. Well, were you at all skeptical about what he was saying?
Definitely. I mean, I was just like, how are you going to do that? I mean, these are not normal people. Maybe they're just lucky or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So basically, like Jocelyn totally like shot this down. So like she was like, no, just go back outside and mow the grass. You'll forget about this later. It's okay. We got to go back to school in a couple weeks. And so I go back out and I keep listening, but I downloaded like every podcast you had out at the time. And that was in 2012. So that was actually a lot of podcasts ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I downloaded a bunch of other stuff and I started learning about it. And I set a goal for myself. I was like, I'm going to prove to Jocelyn that this is possible and that these are real people doing this. So in the summer of 2012, I started a couple websites and, I did well in the like SEO stuff. And like, I actually got on the first page of Google, but like, I wasn't making any money. The only thing I had monetization wise was Google AdSense at that time.
What kind of site did you create?
It was a site that was giving free worksheets to teachers.
Okay.
And so basically what it did was I would create these worksheets, put them online. People could download them for free. And I wasn't even collecting email addresses for them. I was just letting them do it. But I put Google ads around them. So I was hoping maybe they would like the worksheet and then something else would pop up. They'd click it and I'd get some money, which was not happening at first. It was awful. So
yeah, and so I was sort of like, I told you so.
Yeah, right. I heard that every day. Like, just like, see, you're crazy. Stop doing this. You're wasting time. And so what happened? The turning point, and we always tell people the story. This is how 11 cents changed our lives. I mean, I'm talking a dime and a penny. We're sitting in bed, and I'm really about to give up. I'm so depressed. I'm like, man, this is terrible. I can't do this. And I'm literally like hitting refresh over and over and over again, watching my analytics, just seeing what's happening. And
we've all been there.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. And Jocelyn's like, what were you doing when we were?
I don't know. I was just laying in bed, like maybe reading or something.
Watching. I don't know what she was doing, but anyway. So I finally hit it one time, and in disbelief, man, I'm staring at this computer. Someone had clicked an ad and we got paid 11 cents. And I literally hit refresh at 0 and came back and somehow hit it updated, or I don't even know what time it was. And I saw 11 cents and I went bonkers. I went absolutely berserk. Like Jocelyn's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you so excited? I'm like, look at that. I put information out and somebody gave me money back. Boom. There it is.
Right. So 11 cents. I mean, you could have found that in your car or like underneath the couch or something. What made you so excited about 11 cents?
Well, I think it was just that, he had finally proven to me that this was possible, that you can make money on the internet without, physically being there to sell something to someone. And I guess that's just what opened my eyes.
Like Jocelyn just like, I didn't know if she was staring at me because I was acting crazy or she was like shocked and bewildered that someone had given us money from the internet. But like you could see a light in her eyes like, wait a minute. Well, how can we do this more? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, how can we turn that into $11 or whatever? So
sure. Okay. So what happened after that?
So at that point, Shane already had a couple of websites that he was working on, and I had one in mind because I'm a school librarian, and there's just not a whole lot of resources out there for school librarians.
And as I was buying domains, I kept buying domains for Jocelyn, even though she was like, "Stop doing that." And I'd be like, "This would be perfect for you. I'm going to buy this one for you."
And so I decided that I was going to start a blog for elementary librarians. And my principal at the time had been wanting me to write these very specific lesson plans that had Common Core and American Association of School Librarian standards. It's just special standards that we use in education. And so I really didn't have time to do that at school. And I was like, well, you know what? If I'm going to spend time during my summer writing these lessons, I'm going to see if maybe somebody wants to buy them. So I put them out there, and the very first month, my first month, I think that site made over $2,000.
Yeah, it was mind blowing because it was such a quick jump from, we got 11 cents, and then we actually started brainstorming right after the ad clicks, and we were like, this ad thing it's cool, but it's not enough. So we were like, well, let's do like Pat did. Let's make a digital product and see if people want to buy it. So we kind of learned that process in about a month, how to do that. And then we both started making digital products. And when Jocelyn put hers out there, and all of a sudden we had $2,000 something extra dollars, we were like, "Whoa,
yeah, okay,
we might be onto something."
So, Jocelyn, you create the site. Can you share the URL with us?
Yes, it's elementarylibrarian.com.
Okay, so you create that site, and you're like, what do you do? I mean, how did you get $2,000? Like, a lot of people create digital products. What do you believe made it work for you?
Right. Well, the thing about it is, during all this time, when Shane is doing all this research, he's telling me a lot of different things. So basically, I'm getting like the Cliffs Notes version of all of these like SEO strategies and like email list building strategies,
Facebook pages,
and just different things that he was learning about. So he's telling me about it, and I'm listening, but I'm still sort of like, yeah, this is not going to happen. So anyway, when I built my site, I put a lot of those things in place right away. So like one of the very first things that I did was collect emails. And I had that on my site right away.
Which I did not. I failed miserably at. But
yeah.
We'll get into your site soon, Shane.
And so I did start collecting email addresses right away. There was not a whole lot of information out there for elementary librarians. And so I think that people just found me just because there's not a whole lot out there. I also used some strategies of, I would look up the number one site in Google for the terms that I was wanting to target, and I would comment on there, or sometimes it would be like a wiki and I could add my site to the wiki. And so that's some of the things that I did to build that traffic in the very beginning.
Okay, so you were getting direct traffic from this outreach, but also that was improving your SEO. So I'm guessing a lot of the traffic that you had initially was from both of those things. So SEO did play a huge role.
Yeah, I would say so.
Cool. And so you put out this product. How did you promote it? Were you just like, hey, I have this product, and you just had it on your site, or did you send an email out? Like, how did that all work?
Yeah, so what I decided to do is, I started thinking about my lead magnet, my opt-in magnet. Okay, what would I want if I were searching for lesson plans on, or, anything about elementary librarians or elementary libraries on the internet? And I thought what would really be cool is if I had a full month of lesson plans. So my opt-in was an entire month of lesson plans. So you could see if you liked what I was doing, and maybe if you wanted to purchase some more. And so at the time that I started selling them, I actually only had 2 months of lesson plans complete because I didn't know if this was going to work or not.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great strategy. It's similar to when you're coming out with a book, you're giving away a free chapter, right? You might as well give it away to see if people like it, and if they want more, then they can go ahead and purchase more.
Exactly.
So that's a great strategy. Okay, so let's continue on with your site, Jocelyn, really quick. So you sell this digital product. How did you grow from there, and sort of where are things standing now?
Well, basically, I started reaching out to people in social media. I have a Facebook page. I have a Twitter page. Pinterest is absolutely huge for me because I do have a lot of mostly female customers and readers. So I had a big Pinterest strategy. I really tried to pick nice pictures to use on there. And I had a lot of people share my stuff on Pinterest, and I give away a lot of things on my website, a lot of free resources. So I think a lot of people print those. And recently I've been reaching out and doing webinars. I've just done a couple of those this week.
Wow. Okay. So really quick, let's talk about your Pinterest strategy. It's something I haven't really talked about much, or had anybody talk about much on the show. How are you using Pinterest to drive traffic really quickly?
Well, what I do is I try to make a nice picture for every blog post that I do, like on Canva. That's usually what I've been using recently.
Canva.com,
Yeah.
Canva.com for those who listen.
Yeah, I've been using Canva, and it's really easy to use, and it really makes your pictures look nice. And so I do that. Like I said before, I do make a lot of free resources. Pretty much all of my worksheets, like PowerPoints, anything that I use in my lesson plans, I give away for free. And we also have a plugin on our sites that put a pin it button on every picture, and so that's really good. It makes it really easy and reminds people to pin things when they're on the site.
That's cool. Do you happen to remember the name of that plugin?
Oh, I am not sure. I can maybe get back to you if you want to put it on the show notes, but I'm not sure offhand what it's called.
Okay, sure. I'll have it in the show notes for everybody. So make sure to go to the show notes. The link will be mentioned after we hang up with Shane and Jocelyn here. But Shane, let's go to you. Okay, so you see Jocelyn doing well with elementary librarian. You're like, yes, I was right.
Exactly. and I said that every day and still do.
And then it sounds like you created your own site.
Yeah, I created.
I mean, you had sites already, but
yeah, they weren't really like going well though. So what I did was when I saw that the digital product thing worked really well for Jocelyn, I said, okay, that's where I've got to revamp everything and go towards. So I had a coaching site where I was blogging about football because I coached football and I run this really unique defense that a lot of guys don't run. And it's kind of like a cult following that this defense is. So I had this site about this defense, and I started saying, okay, well, I've got to create a digital product too. So what I did was, I saw how well Jocelyn's opt-in went, where she was giving away that free month. So I started this coaching website, and I wrote an entire 100-page playbook. And I'm talking Amazon published book quality playbook. And that was my opt-in. I gave away my playbook.
Wow.
Because what I figured was people would see the defense, and if they adopted it, well, then I could sell them, more advanced things like how to beat other teams with it and how to practice it and things like that. And that really took off for me. And once I was able to build up an email list, I actually created a product of my own that was basically 10 practice plans on how to run my defense, like how to use that playbook and teach it to your kids. And the first month that I offered that, I think it sold like $7,500 in a month, the first month it went. So once we figured out this digital product system, it was kind of, I won't say rinse and repeat at this point because we were still struggling to figure out exactly how everything worked. But we knew that if we could give away something awesome free, get that email, then they would come back and buy things from us. And our first couple of digital products worked really well that way.
That's awesome. I want to talk about the lead magnet really quick. So you gave away a lot. You gave away the 100-page playbook. And I think this is, that could be, a lot of people might be like, wow, that's a lot of work. But, what you're essentially doing here is you're giving away all the ingredients, but people still have to know how to cook it.
Exactly.
So,
right.
So people will pay if they enjoy and they see what it could do. I mean, in order to implement that correctly, they're going to pay for that. And, if they aren't, then that's not really your target audience.
Another strategy, though, another reason why we did this, though, Pat, was because, we were working full-time jobs. We've got 2 little kids. We've got grass to mow and a house to clean, things like that. We had to do things that we were already doing. I knew that I had my playbook skeleton for my football team, but I knew if I could just sit down for a couple weeks, I could do something that I needed to do right then, and it was something I was already going to do. And then, but if I did it a little bit better, I could turn it into a product. So that was kind of a strategy of ours early. Was let's look at what we're doing now and what we know, and create that kind of digital product. Not only to save time, but it'll come out better because we're kind of experts at what we're doing. So that's why we made such a detailed product. We were already doing it for ourselves.
Right. I mean, it sounds very similar to when I first started my site to help people pass the exam. I mean, I created that site first for myself. I was going through the process myself already, so I knew it. And then I just created a product out of it.
So after that, I turned that site, once it started doing well, it was just kind of a blog, but I turned it into actually a social network using BuddyPress for football coaches. And it's like, I think there's like 4,000 or 5,000 members, and I get like 50,000 hits a month.
Wow.
Now.
Okay.
So it's just people that come there to talk about football.
That's so cool. So not only are you building an email list and selling digital products, but you are creating an area for people who enjoy those things that you're talking about to talk to each other.
Yes.
What is your domain, if you don't mind sharing it?
It's coachxo.com.
coachxo.com. And Shane mentioned Buddy Press. Can you talk about Buddy Press and what it does essentially and how that's helped with your sales?
Well, Buddy Press is a plugin basically that's kind of a bunch of plugins put together, but it creates kind of like Facebook. You can turn a WordPress site into Facebook where users can create like an account and they can have like their own wall, and you've got like a news feed and things like that. And the reason I did that was because I noticed that a lot of the most popular coaching sites were forums where people could go, but they were like old school 90s bulletin board forums, right? Mm-hmm. So when I looked up and kind of studied Buddy Press, and I was like, this is how I can make myself unique. I can create an environment that people are used to, like Facebook or Twitter, and that way people can come and talk in a way that we're used to kind of in the modern way with social media. So That's what I used Buddy Press for, was just to create. I wanted people to have a familiarity and not just be locked in old school forums.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And I'm on your site now. It looks great. People can create their own little avatars for their username. I'm guessing with Buddy Press, people can like message each other, and you can create small groups and stuff like that.
Yeah, and groups are big too, because like I'm able to when people register on Buddy Press, you can just use like very limited information. But what happens is then instead of having a big form like what school do you teach at, what grade do you coach, what defense do you use, they join the groups organically. And like if I have a product that's one certain specific offense or defense, I can go to that group and advertise it without having to ask all that information up front, and it helps you get the opt-in quicker, basically.
So the groups are essentially a way for you to discover interests of certain people.
Exactly. It's just like Facebook does. They know what groups you're in. They know what you hit like on. I know that too in the back end of Buddy Press. I can see everyone that's joined the 4-3 defense group, and I can only show products to them based on what they've actually done on the site.
Wow, that's huge. That's absolutely huge. The sort of customized experience for each and every individual on your site is sort of the trend that's happening now in online business. And we notice it on Facebook now. We have ads that are specific for us, and I think this is a great way to sort of implement that on your own site. Is Buddy Press like a free thing, or like what's the cost of that?
It's free. I'm pretty sure it was free. Yeah, it's free. Buddy Press, I just downloaded it, put it in. Now there's some plugins that support it, like the functionality of Buddy Press, and like it uses BB Press forums on the back end of it a little bit. Mm-hmm. So like that stuff is free, but like to do things like if you want to add images or videos, or you can change the way the news feed works, you've got to get a few extra support plugins.
That's cool. That's awesome. Jocelyn, are you sort of implementing some sort of strategy to bring your librarian community together as well?
I have in some ways. I'm not doing the Buddy Press thing just yet. I'm just not quite ready to jump into that. Mm-hmm. But I have started a private Facebook group for some of my customers who have purchased my new year of lesson plans. And so that's going really well. They're really liking that. And I've also just started doing webinars. I mentioned that earlier, but people are loving the chat role on webinars.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Can you take us through a webinar? Like, how do you set it up? What do you promote? And what's it like to be on one and conduct it?
Yeah, so what we do is we use Google Hangouts on air, and we use lead pages to generate what is it called? It's like a webinar.
Like it's just a registration page or something?
Yeah, there's like a template, and it has the video and the chat role, basically.
Yeah, and so they actually go to that lead page on my site during the webinar. And so the chat box and the webinar play on the same page. And so I just start the Google Hangout, and people come and get in the chat room. And actually my first 3 webinars have been like insanely attended. I mean, I had like
500 for the first one.
Yeah. And like yesterday's, I think I had over 400 people signed up for. So
wow.
And like what we do is like Jocelyn, or like say she's doing the webinar, then I moderate the chat room. And like, so I'm talking to people, and if we're promoting products, or I'm handling, I gather questions for Jocelyn to do a Q&A. And then like later tonight, I'm going to do a webinar for football coaches. Jocelyn will kind of man the chat room and kind of help, spur conversation on while I'm kind of talking on the screen.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I know that John Lee Dumas and Kate over there, they sort of tag team with each other on these webinars as well. I think that's really smart. I've done the Google Hangouts before, just free live Q&As, and I always struggle with keeping up with all the questions, and because with hundreds of people asking questions or even talking to each other in there, it's easy to miss stuff. So I think that's a really smart strategy. So walk us through a webinar. What do you talk about, and what's your pitch like if you pitch at all?
Okay, so what I did is I created a Prezi, and that's on Prezi.com. It's Prezi, and sort of like PowerPoint, except it's like a flash thing.
It's
it
much
zooms
fancier and better looking for sure.
Yeah, and it's just more engaging, I think. And so what I did is I created a Prezi, and the one that I did yesterday was about library centers. So it's about like setting up several stations in your library, and the students rotate through the stations. And so what I did is I explained what that was. I told reasons why I like to use them, and I gave some examples of what you could do. I did talk a little bit. I sprinkled a few things about my products in there. Like I have a book called 101 Library Centers. And so, of course, if I'm talking about library centers, I'm going to talk about my book. And I did mention that briefly, but most of the selling came through. I would do several Q&A sessions like throughout. So I would do maybe like 5 or 6 slides, take questions, do another 5 or 6 slides and take questions. So most of the selling actually took place through those questions.
And we also, during the webinar, the biggest selling point, like to keep it from sounding too pitchy, is what we do is we have a contest during the webinar. So like we basically have a link to the sales page that we want them to go to during that webinar. Mm-hmm. And we say like, okay, anyone that makes a purchase during this hour is not only going to get a discount, but we're going to give away whatever at the end of the webinar. So it really spurs people. Like I'm in the chat room constantly reminding people about the contest. So Jocelyn doesn't have to, be too pitchy in what she's saying. She can just give good content and, help them learn something. Mm-hmm. And then that way people are constantly buying stuff to get, in the drawing for that free product.
That's really cool. How are you getting people registered for these webinars? Is it just through email, or are you doing any sort of paid outreach?
So far, I've just used my email list. My email list has over 8,000 people. So I was able to get a lot of participants from that. I've also done some Facebook. I did not do any paid advertising for my webinar, but I think Shane did.
Yeah, I'm using Facebook and Twitter to do it. I have a lot of engagement on Twitter. Coaches love Twitter for some reason. Mm-hmm. So we buy sponsored tweets on Twitter, and also, mostly what I do is I just boost posts in my actual page.
Right. So, your fans can see them, right?
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So that's how we promote them, basically.
That's cool. Yeah, I'd love to talk about that Twitter strategy, because that's, a lot of people. And when we met in person, you were just talking about how much you were doing well with the Twitter sponsored ads, which nobody talks about.
Coach XO actually gets 38% of its traffic from Twitter. It's insanity. It's just really took off for me.
Wow, that's cool. So I think the big important lesson there is just to know where your audience is.
Right, exactly.
That's cool. So, okay, great. Now can you share some numbers? Like how is everything going recently? I mean, Jocelyn, you're doing these webinars. You're doing these webinars. You have lesson plans that you're selling. Shane, you are doing, promotions as well, and you have your Buddy Press sort of community. Like how is it going?
It's actually going really well. This month has been a little awesome. Insane. Yeah. We actually started a launch on, I think it was the 14th.
On the 14th or 15th, yeah.
And it's the end of the month now. And so we've just crossed over well over 6 figures for this month.
We've made $142,000 in July.
That's unbelievable.
So, yeah, it's insanity. Like last year, we quit our jobs in August of 2013. We made $36,000 in a month, and that was like a teaching salary basically. And we were like, "Oh my gosh!" And we literally walked in like a week later and quit our jobs. And now we've quadrupled it or something. So it's $142,000.
We're from Kentucky.
It's a lot.
We don't. It's mad.
I mean, oh my gosh! I'm just
and next month's going to be bigger. We know it for sure.
Well, I mean, from the One Day Business Breakthrough events, Chris and I, we always put a little private Facebook group together to have all the people who attend these events. It's just about 20 people, so they can meet each other before we meet in person, and then they meet in person, and the groups stay alive. And you guys are definitely the most active there, because you have so much amazing things to share. Like, you're sharing every milestone along the way. It's just so incredible. And even before the group, even before One Day Business Breakthrough, we've been talking on and off for a couple of years now via email, and every email I get, I'm so excited, because I'm like, okay, what else did Jocelyn and Shane do this time? And I'm learning from you guys. Now, this is so incredible. So, rewinding a little bit, yes, you guys are doing extremely well. What are some maybe mistakes that you made or things you wish you did differently, if anything?
Well, one thing is that we wish that we would have gotten help earlier. We are just now starting to hire some virtual assistants and even some in real life assistants, I guess you would say. And we're just now starting to do that. I mean, as this business is getting crazy, and so this month has been really stressful for us, just because we did not have those things in place, and we're trying to do everything superhero syndrome, as Chris Tucker says, and it's just not working. So that's been kind of frustrating.
Like, I think too, like another thing that we didn't do early on is we tried to kind of bootstrap everything. Like, everybody tries to do all the free resources and free tools. And like, I've noticed that the more that we're willing to spend money on like plugins or anything to beat the learning curve, like Lead Pages was a game changer for us because it let us just straight up, we can throw out, I mean, I think we've made probably 50 lead pages in the last 2 weeks. And it just like things like that, when you're willing to like put the money down for them, like it gets you so much farther ahead than just trying to save a buck or two here and there. Like the other day when we got in that chat, we had the free chat roll, but there was only like 50 people allowed in it. And then we had like 500 people watching on, people couldn't get in the chat room. So like while Jocelyn's talking, I'm literally typing in my credit card to pay $50 a month for chat roll. And like, I'm like, man, I should have just bought this an hour ago. So I think we're learning to buy things and just beat the learning curve and start making money off of what we're doing. So
right, that's awesome. What are some of the big lessons learned that you could share for everybody else out there who wants to get started? They have this great information to share. They're trying to build a community. They're starting websites, and it's just not working out for them. What were maybe some of the big things that really helped each of you get to where you're at now? We'll start with you, Jocelyn.
Okay, I think that a big thing is just be who you are. I have done that from the very beginning. I've not gone out there and said that I'm some awesome librarian or something like that. I just went out there. I was really real in my blog, and I just said, my job is really hard, and I know your job is really hard too. Let's work together. Let's talk to each other, see what we can work out together. And I think that that's really helped me.
Jane?
I think the same thing, just being very honest with who you are. I didn't try to put myself out as, Bear Bryant, the greatest coach ever lived or whatever. I just said, I'm a high school coach. I've been around the block. I've won a lot of games. I've lost a lot of games. I'm like you, man. I just want a place where we all can come together and talk football. So just keeping it real and not trying to be something we weren't, I think really paid huge dividends for us in the end.
That's cool. And, I know you guys listen to the podcast, obviously. And so I'm curious, what things did you learn from SPI that have helped take your business to where it's at today?
The first thing for me, it was just do it. Like, don't be afraid to do it because there's other people like you out there doing it and you just don't know it yet. And like, just the resources that you shared have been like incredible. Like, our podcasts exist because of your podcast tutorial. I mean, the mic we're talking on right now is from your affiliate link.
Thanks, man. I mean, you guys sound great, by the way.
I mean, this microphone is amazing for what it costs. It's unbelievable.
Is that the ATR 2100?
Yes, it is. Yep. It sure is. Yeah. And it's on that boom mic that you got with it. I don't even know what this thing's called. But like the resources that we got from your resource page where we were just, found everything. And just knowing that I had a place too to go and calm down when everything was getting overwhelming. And just be able to listen to someone else's story and just relax and hear that really helped me at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, Pat, it's just my favorite thing that you share has to be what we talked about at the one-day business breakthrough meeting. It's working on one thing at a time. And it's not necessarily for me because that's the kind of person I am. But Shane is all over the place.
Like Jocelyn used to always tell me, Shane, you've got 15 things going. Stop and do one of them and move on. But then one day I heard you say that on a podcast. Was it 68? 60? It was 60 something. And this was another moment where I turned the lawnmower off, walked inside, and I said, all right, Pat says it and you're saying it. There's a sign here.
I'm like, thank you, Pat.
Right, so.
Hey, thanks.
AAA.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. That was sort of a selfish question. Everybody probably knows that. But, okay. So what I want to finish up with is just, the beginning. Yes, you guys are doing well now. You have your big lists, and it's I wouldn't say easy, but it's it's set up for you guys now, and I cannot wait to see what's going to happen next. Like, I don't know, 5 years from now, you'll have a 7-figure month, perhaps. That'd be awesome. So. But going back to the beginning, I think that's where a lot of people are at, and they are just like you guys, passionate and energetic, and have this great information, but they can't just yet break through. And I appreciate what you guys said earlier. Yes, just be yourself. But even then, people are being themselves and aren't seeing results. Like, what can they do to get those results? This is like something that, and I know it's a tough question because I get this question all the time. Pat, like, I'm doing all these things right. Why not me yet?
I think the best advice that I could say in that situation is this, and we say this like all the time, is there's kind of an information overload, especially when you're at the very beginning. And I think that the problem is yes, you're doing everything, but you're doing everything. Like, you got to have to step back. You don't have to do everything right. Our business is very imperfect. Like, we don't even have an autoresponder set up on any of our emails.
On any website.
Anything. We have no autoresponder.
You guys listen to SPI, right?
I know, but we did. That was like so far down the list of things to do.
No, but that's great. Like, you put on the list, but you're working on one thing at a time.
Exactly. So I would say you don't have to do everything perfect. You just got to keep grinding, and then look for those 11-cent moments. Look for that one message on Twitter where someone's like, "Oh, I read your blog post and it was cool." Even if you've only got like 100 followers or whatever, and you've got to build on those small wins. You can't hope for $142,000 in a month. That's not going to come. I mean, this is 2 years later that this is happening. Mm-hmm. So just take those small wins and find them and latch onto them and try to, double it and make it a little bit bigger the next time.
Double it. Yeah, that was our theme for One Day.
That was our theme
for One Day Business Breakthrough. Double it. I know Chris is listening to this and he's probably smiling right now. Now that I said that, he's probably smiling even bigger.
Definitely.
But yeah, the small wins are huge. And I've talked about my first dollar online before. I've talked about my first sale before. A lot of people who I look up to have talked about how their first sale just made a huge impact on everything. So I think going for those first dollars is really important. Your first customer, and understanding that, okay, maybe you have only 100 people that read your site a month. That's 100 people that read your site a month. Like, right. Talk to them, understand them, so you can have more people like them come your way. And that's when you're in the beginning, that's your opportunity to really shine to those who are on your site. Guys, Jocelyn, Shane, this has been amazing. Again, elementarylibrarian.com and coachxo.com. You're sort of known as Coach XO now, right? Like, they just call you that.
Yeah, people call me, like, people will be like, "Thanks, Coach XO." And I'm like, "My name is Shane. You can call me like Shane,
But that's awesome, though.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much. Besides those places, where can people go to get more information from you? And actually, I do want to mention flippedlifestyle.com. Since, this incredible success, like me, wanting to give back, you've created this amazing resource. Talk about this resource really quick for everybody.
Flippedlifestyle.com is a blog that we created to kind of chronicle our journey and help people, because a lot of people around us are like seeing the success we're having. So we can't go outside without people asking us like what we're doing. And what really sparked us to start this blog was the same month that we made $36,000 in 2013 and then quit our jobs. We had a friend named Lindsay who wanted to stop being a teacher and go home to be a stay-at-home mom. And she kind of approached Jocelyn and said, "What are y'all doing?" And Jocelyn was like, "We're selling digital products. Let me show you how." And that same month that we were able to do that, we were able to write a check to Lindsay, because she started selling digital products on Jocelyn's website. And we wrote them a check for $1,000. And that was very life-changing to them. Like, in Kentucky, $1,000 is a lot of money. So we started looking at each other and saying, "Now, wait a minute. If we can make money with digital products and we can teach other people to make money with digital products, then we could turn their world upside down. We could flip their lifestyle and give them freedom that they don't have."
Yeah, that's awesome. And, I've listened to the podcast. It's great. So check it out, flippedlifestyle.com.
And we've actually, if everyone's listening, this is totally a selfish moment for us. Now, we have a special gift for everyone listening to SPI right now, because SPI has given so much to us that we wanted to give it back, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are just starting out. So if you'll actually go to flippedlifestyle.com/Pat, we have created a 6-video e-course teaching you how to sell digital products online, and it is 100% free. So
Awesome. Thank you both. Really appreciate it. I didn't even know you guys were doing that, so thank you so much. Best of luck to you both. We'll have to have you back on in the future to see how everything's going.
Definitely. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Thanks guys.
For the one-day BB too. That was a spark for our business that really took us to the next level.
Yes, if you're thinking about it, don't hesitate. It was awesome.
Go.
Thank you. Well, you only made a record month the month after One Day Business.
I mean, come
Week,
on.
so-
Exactly.
Right? I mean, that's how it works.
The cause and effect has to be.
Not taking full credit for that, but we did push you guys to do a lot of cool stuff. So amazing success story. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks.
All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that interview as much as I did with Shane and Jocelyn Sams. Again, Jocelyn's site is at elementarylibrarian.com. Shane's can be found at coachxo.com. And they dropped that awesome resource for us at the end there. If you go to flippedlifestyle.com/Pat, you can get access to all that for free. So again, thank you, Shane and Jocelyn. I know you're listening to this. You might be on the lawnmower, perhaps. If not, just thank you guys so much. Thank you to all the listeners out there. And I also want to thank today's sponsor, the awesome 99designs.com. For those of you who don't know, 99designs.com is the #1 marketplace to get designs done for whatever design needs you might have. So let's say you need a new logo or you want a new website design. Instead of finding an individual designer, which could get a little pricey and take quite a while. But with 99 Designs, again, the world's largest graphic design marketplace, you go to the website, you tell them about the design you need, and you pick a price that works for you. And that's when the fun actually really begins. Designers from around the globe will submit awesome designs, and you'll give them feedback. You can vote on them, you can have other people vote on them, and just pick the best one that you like. And within a week, 7 days, you'll pick your favorite one, and you're good with your design. And that's how it works. I've used it myself several times for niche sites in the past. It's a great, inexpensive solution for design. With thousands of designers at your fingertips, there's no limit to what you can get designed. So if you go to 99designs.com/SPI, you get a $99 power pack of services free. Again, that's 99designs.com/SPI. Thank you so much for your support and the time you spent with me today. As always, you can head on over to the blog and get the show notes, the links, and the resources mentioned in this episode at smartpassiveincome.com/session122. Again, smartpassiveincome.com/session122. And you can also check out some of the other blog content on there, including some recent updates on foodtrucker.com, a niche site that I built publicly on the site and have been building for over a year now. The site's doing extremely well, and we're actually about to launch our first product for the site. So look out for updates on that on the blog. And, I'll see you on Twitter at Pat Flynn, and I'll see you around. Cheers, take care, and don't just, finish this episode and be like, oh, that was pretty cool and that was inspirational. I mean, take that inspiration, take everything that Shane and Jocelyn said and put it into action. Just take one thing. That's a book I've been reading lately. It's called The One Thing. It's awesome. So pick one thing from this episode you learned and do it. That's my challenge to you. Talk to you later. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Smart Passive Income Podcast at www.smartpassiveincome.com.
More people dream about building their own business and being their own boss rather than retiring early. But a majority of them never even take the first steps to register the business. Why? Because starting a business can feel overwhelming. With legal forms, paperwork, finances, it's a lot. And that's where Taylor Brands comes in. Taylor is a complete business builder designed to make launching your business simple and stress-free. You can register your LLC in just minutes, keeping your personal and business assets separate from day one. And from there, you can get access to everything you need to get off the ground, from legal documents, licenses and permits, invoicing and bookkeeping tools, and even a 100-day business coaching program to help you hit the ground running. You'll also get a free personalized business plan, branding tools, and so much more. And of course, our listeners get an exclusive 35% discount to get started. Just head to taylorbrands.com/SPI. That's TAILORBRANDS.com/SPI. Stop dreaming, start building with Taylor Brands. Hey there, quick pause here because I have to tell you about a tool that completely transforms the podcasting workflow, Riverside. I get it. I used to juggle multiple platforms just to record one podcast episode. It was exhausting. Zoom for recording, Audacity for editing, and then a bunch of different apps just to create clips and social posts. I've tried other ones as well. They were okay, but they were clunky and super time consuming. That's where Riverside has massively helped. I can do it all in one place: recording, editing, repurposing, one platform, one streamlined flow. I just log in, record with my guests no matter where they are in the world, and just like that, studio quality audio and high resolution video all in one. And get this, even if your Wi-Fi glitches, Riverside records locally on your device so everything sounds and looks crystal clear. But here's my favorite feature: Riverside's AI editing tool. You can remove silences and filler words with just one click. Hours saved. With Magic Clips, Riverside also automatically finds the best moments and turns them into ready-to-post videos for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, all without the extra editing. So if you're looking to level up your production quality and simplify your workflow, go to smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside and use code SMART to get 1 month free on the Pro plan. That's smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside, promo code SMART. It's built by creators for creators, and I think you're going to love it.